I really want to thank you for coming today. Actually, I want to get up out of my seat and give you a huge hug. It's so awesome to see York County's #1 exporter here today. And I can tell you that my husband and I absolutely love what you're doing at your facility in Spring Grove. And we really, really appreciate all that you're doing for York County and our good friends who are dairy farmers. And you mentioned challenges with the regulatory business aspect. And I know that speaking with Secretary Redding, that we have books of regulations that are outdated. Recently, the department and the secretary was very, very helpful when Perrydale Farm, one of those wonderful dairy farms in York County, had a problem with a frozen dessert regulation. So they could make ice cream, they could put it in a quart or in a gallon or a half gallon, and everything was fine. But until they went to make these layered push pops, then they had to start all over again. More fees, more licensing, more paperwork. And we had this conversation at last year's budget hearing, and I will say extremely grateful that we were able to address that. I believe it no longer exists. Is that correct?
We're working there.
Okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're not going to get there overnight, but we're making progress. So, Rynn, my request, and as someone who has taken on the issue of comprehensive regulatory reform, is to please work with us to identify those regulations that we need to address and eliminate. I agree with you wholeheartedly on prevailing wage. Having been a school board director, I've seen it be a huge issue in so many other arenas. But also help us with targeting more regulations that we can eliminate so that we can help you grow your business, because the growth of your business means the growth and success of dairy farmers in York County. And you know what, if you're even more successful, I think that dairy farmers in Lancaster and Adams and other places can be successful too. So, an Olive Branch, please work with us. We don't know what you don't tell us. When you said that, it rang true instantly, but I'm walking away saying we've got to get to work and draft a bill for you. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing to that, and that is, I think particularly those of us who call ourselves the dairy disruptors, the folks who are really like, how can we move as fast as we can? The PA Cheese Guild members, for instance, we feel like our greatest strength, and most industry folks, when they write articles, talk about the challenges with our small and medium-sized dairies in Pennsylvania. We see it as our greatest strength. We see that if we can take the Italian models of micro creameries and nano creameries, and we can replicate, much like what we're doing in an old car dealership in Spring Grove, where we can take resources that already exist, like three-phase power, things that don't exist out on the farms, and we can actually put these micro and nano creameries with retail partners like Giant, who've committed to moving 30% of their cheese case to Pennsylvania cheese if we can make it. We feel like we have some good ideas of what we can do, but I spent like 3 days this week trying to figure out how to fix an Excel spreadsheet for the Milk Marketing Board because we use Apple and they don't want us to. So it's just things like that that just feel like they're incongruent with, like, we're out here saying, tell us what to do, we'll do it, partner with us. And Secretary Redding's office has been incredible with that. And I think the more that we can kind of say, like, hey guys, how do we make this go faster? We're not trying to cut corners. I have Appendix N. I mean, I test everything. In fact, we advocate clean milk standards well beyond what all the co-ops do. So we feel like we can make a better quality product that we can put to market, that I don't have to talk about nut milks. Because if you taste the milk from my dairy farmers, no one will ever go near an almond milk. I mean, that's the bottom line. Good, clean, high-fat milk, forget about it. But I need to move as fast as I can. And that agility Right now, when I'm competing against Wisconsin, when I'm competing against California, who are light years ahead of us in the marketing arena, like, that's what I need. I need that agility. And I would say, from my perspective, that's the number one thing that you guys could help us with is, like, instead of saying, no, you can't do that, here's a hurdle, it's, tell me how to move that hurdle as fast as I can, because that's the big thing, I would say.
Well, thank you, and I would say that every person sitting here wants to make that happen for you and wants you to be successful. Thank you.